everyone. Or hi, one person. Can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. Just give me a thumbs up, something. Okay. Oh, gosh. All right, I'll wait a few more minutes while I get set up. Hi, somebody say something, please. Okay, how's the camera? Can you hear me? I hope so. All right. You can say, hi, yay. You can hear me. Thanks, Rachel. Thanks, JH. Hi. That's awesome. I always get so nervous. I know. Thank you. Oh, I'm so nervous. Always. I don't know why. And I've been doing it for a few weeks, a few months now, but I still get nervous. It's okay. I'm going to be playing with my hair because I'm nervous. I'm sorry. All right. Let me open up my... Oh, thank you, Rachel. You're awesome. You're amazing. Where are you from? Tell me. Let me just get my screen in order and take a sip. North Carolina. Am I right? Ooh, Black Heaven is from Germany. That's amazing. Thank you for joining us and from North Carolina. Wow. I'm so excited. Wait, what time is it in Germany? It's 12 o'clock here, noon, lunchtime. You guys must be like, are you 8 hours ahead or 6 hours ahead? Another one from Germany. This is awesome. Another one. Oh, South Carolina. Hi, Sherry from Dallas, Texas. Is it Yasina? Am I pronouncing it right? From Dallas? Hi, from Journey. It's 6 p.m. Okay. That's amazing. Nathan, there's people from Germany watching. This is so cool. Okay, who's watching at 10 a.m.? Jeff, good morning. It's 10 a.m. Where are you from? I'm sure you've told me before where you're from, Jeff. I'm so sorry. This is so cool. I love it. Isn't this amazing? Oh my gosh. Are you sick of me saying amazing all the time? Don't answer that or lie. That's my thing. I just say it all the time. I'm sorry. All right. I should get started, right? Let's see, what time is it? 3 minutes into it. Okay, I'm still trying to set up my screen. I'm going to leave the comments so I can see what you guys are texting me or typing. All right. How do I shrink it? Let's shrink it. There we go. Oh, I can shrink it. That's awesome. The camera takes up so much screen. Okay. There we go. This is so cool. I really, really appreciate everybody who comes on and supports me during this little journey of mine. I really, really do. This is honestly so amazing. You meant Crystal? What do you mean? Oh, hi, Crystal. It says Jeff. I'm sorry. But where are you? You said 10 a.m. So where is 10 a.m.? Okay. Sorry. No, that's not what I wanted. Okay, now my screen is all kerfuffled. Hold on. I'm trying to. Okay, I think I got it all set up. All right, so I have my notes right here on the side. So I'm so sorry if you see my eyes keep going back and forth because I don't have it memorized. I never do. Because I literally write it and then edit it up until, okay, I stopped editing it last night. I wrote it and then I just kind of, Oh, Calgary. Oh, yay, Canadian. Okay, so I stopped editing it last night, but it gets to a point, and I'm sure you can like think back to your school days or whatever. You get to a point where you're like, okay, it's good enough. That's it. I'm just gonna leave it. So hopefully it makes sense, my notes, and then in my mind, I'm just gonna add in a few things. But you know what? I probably didn't put in what I mean by coachable. And hold on, let me coach. Okay. Okay. So being coachable, it's kind of, sorry, it's a little bit self-explanatory, but to be coachable, pretty much what Google is saying is the capability of being easily taught or easily trained to do something better. So to be coached, okay? So what I'm pretty much going to be talking about for the next half hour or so, if I drag on, I'm so sorry, but hang in there if you want, is how being coachable relates to scentsy or relates to your personal life or relates to any business that you may venture into. Hi, Carolyn. Because it's so important to be coachable. Now, at the end of this, or maybe in the middle of this, it might kind of turn on a little light bulb in your head. And you may realize that not just being coachable, but also being open to learning new things or being open in general. It all kind of ties into your willingness to learn something new or your willingness to be open and not so closed off. I want to use the word stubborn, but also a couple authors use the word or use the phrase know-it-alls. And despite, like, in this business, in scentsy specifically, it doesn't matter like what kind of background you come from or what kind of professional experience you have and educational pedigree, you can learn how to run a scentsy business or any business for that matter. It just requires you to be open to learning. Is that correct? There are times definitely where it's tricky. Like, for example, for myself, even after 4 years, I'm still learning about workstation. Yes, scentsy does make changes to the workstation over the course of the 4 years, and that's amazing. Change is good, despite whether we agree with it or not. But change overall, I feel, is a good thing. But it's our willingness to be open to that change, to be open to learning how to, even almost to adapt or learning how to go with the change. If something changes on workstation or something changes in your personal life or even in your other job, you have to be willing to learn how to navigate through it or to figure it out, kind of thing. So if someone isn't seeing, if you're not seeing success, it's almost because you aren't really following the system either, because they don't trust it. There's almost like a barricade, and you need to put that barricade down and trust the system and trust that you will learn if you put your barricades down and learn the system and learn how to, I guess, run your scentsy business like scentsy is advising you to. Not just scentsy, even maybe your sponsor, your director, your superstar directors, all the other people out there, and maybe even myself. You have to learn to trust the system and learn to be coachable. Does that make sense? So putting down your walls and learning from other, not just consultants, but other people around. So I have, oh, what else? Sorry, I missed another, because they are arrogant enough to think. Okay, so those people, and I'm not speaking about anybody in particular, but I mean, I'm sure you can think of some people in your life, not necessarily sensy people, but those people that are like, they think they can do something better. They think they are stronger and faster. They're quite arrogant, right? They're like, no. I don't need to read the instructions. I know how to do it. Okay, we've all been there. Let's say, for example, IKEA furniture. I'm sorry I have to bring IKEA furniture in this because I'll admit it, I'm awesome at putting together IKEA furniture. Um, and I don't read the instructions. However, I always run into problems because of my stubbornness or because of my arrogancy. I run into problems. So I don't know what it is about me, but I just run into that like, oh no, IKEA furniture, it's super easy. And I can do it by myself, especially when it's something small, like a small little bookcase or a small little like gadget or something. But then it always backfires, and I always end up having to take it apart, opening up the instruction manual and properly reading through it. So, or even like small kitchen appliances, you're like, I've seen one blender, they all work the same. Let's just do it, right? We don't need the manual. So kind of like that. But then when you think about the grand scheme of things, there's always people, like when it comes to businesses, they're like, no, I don't need to go into Workstation and look through the tutorials or watch all those like videos. I can figure it out on my own. But really, those are important videos that Scentsy has put out for us to help us grow in our business. So, all right. So another information, some personal information I wanted to share with you. When I came into this business of Scentsy, the only thing I had was a science and nursing degree with me. So I literally had zero professional chops. I had no idea how to make stuff happen. But like so many others who came into the network marketing business, I wasn't alone. I knew that I wasn't alone because like I couldn't possibly be alone. I did have a sponsor. She no longer sells Scentsy, but I knew from her experience that I wasn't alone. So I didn't know really how to make stuff happen. Even though I had zero experience in this gig, I knew that everything was possible and that I just had to be open up to learning, just like yourself and like others. So I did what the successful members of my upline told me to do, and I plugged into the resources that the company provided on our workstation, and I became a student of the profession. Now, 4 or 5 years ago, there wasn't as many resources as there is now, which is amazing that Scentsy is like evolving and growing in that aspect, that they're becoming more, I want to say better coaches, or that there is more resources for the coachable consultants that want to learn more. There's so many amazing things, even on YouTube. There's so, like myself, there's just so many more things to watch and to learn and to grow to help you in your business. So that's what I did. At that time, I plugged into the company's resources and did as much research and learning as I possibly could. So I was able to, so once I learned the basics, I was able to add my own personality, my own flair, my own experience to the mix, but not until I knew what I was doing. So once I kind of felt more confident in the basics, then that's when I added my own kind of, little something. And to be honest with you, that wasn't until about 2 years into my Scentsy business. Now, don't sit back and be like, oh man, I gotta wait 2 years. No, absolutely not. Everybody is different. Everybody is different. That's just how I evolved, or I grew as a person, as a Scentsy consultant. And there's nothing wrong with maybe taking it slow. Some people just mature differently, let's say, or some people just learn faster. For me, it was a different circumstance, right? Keep in mind, everybody has different circumstances too, right? I was still working full time. I had two kids. One was in the oven. I had a bun in the oven, right? So I have aging parents. So everybody's circumstances are different. So maybe I didn't have as much time to dedicate to my learning as maybe somebody who's maybe not working full time, or is working full time but doesn't have 3 children at home or 2 children at home. You know what I mean? And no disrespect to anybody, but just everybody's time is different and everybody evolves differently, let's say. So plus I was nervous. I still am nervous. I'm a little nervous Nelly at times. So I was not in any rush to push myself too quickly. So, where else? What did I leave off at? Flair. Okay, so yeah. So about 2 years into my scentsy learning is when I started really adding my own kind of experiences, my own flair, and that's when I kind of plugged into YouTube, into I always had Facebook, but that's, I think 2 years ago was when I really picked up on Instagram too, and started adding my own like kind of flyers, my own fun little not activities, but you know, my own like little flair to it and stuff like that. And it just kind of grew, because once you start getting feedback, then you learn from your feedback and you become coachable like that. So when you see people's feedback, and I'll stay tuned because I'm going to talk about feedback a little later on, and you are open to that feedback that you're getting from the general public, whether you know them or not, and you kind of adapt to that feedback. You see what's working and what's not working, and then you continue to grow, or you may take a step back, or a step to the left, or a step to the right. All right. So, from a nursing perspective, because I'm a nurse, and for you, think about what you may do as your day job. Would you have walked, I'm going to speak as a nurse, would I have walked into my first day of my clinical experience, say as a student, without reading up on my patients first, without doing my research, without studying prior to going into a hospital setting, not knowing, like I would never step into or go on to go into an emergency room not knowing anything about emergency medicine or emergency nursing. Absolutely not. Or I would not go into pediatric nursing and not know anything about pediatrics. So, you know what I mean? You guide your research or your learning towards your interest or your specific profession, correct? Because that's just not right. And specifically for nursing, that could be dangerous. So and then back to my point, would I have performed any tests or procedures on my patients without practicing them first in a controlled lab, or at school in our university we had a lab with mannequins and stuff, and so we were able to kind of practice on them, practicing. Isn't it funny that they call medicine or nursing practice? Anyways, on our mannequins. So, and then I wrote here, haha. So I even wrote like when to laugh. Isn't that funny? Even though I'm always laughing. Anyways, admittedly, so isn't this funny? Admittedly, inserting, I hope you guys all know what a Foley catheter is. So that little tube that you insert to help patients pee. But yes, I'm going to talk about a Foley catheter because I'm a nurse and I have weird humor. But admittedly, I can probably do now that after my 20th Foley catheter, I've done plenty more than 20, but I could probably do my Foley catheters now without having to research them, or I could maybe do them with my eyes closed, not really, but you know what I mean. But back then, say 20 years ago, I would have had to research them. I would have researched that practice and practiced it on a mannequin to make sure, and even had a clinical coach beside me, watching me, advising me. So again, it's really, really important to begin, but at the beginning, learning the system, learning the basics of scentsy, and then growing from there. And the business is almost no different than, say, for example, my experience of nursing school, or your experience of whatever you do. Okay. Say if you're a mechanic, you would not just go into a shop and be like, yep, I know how to fix that. I don't know anything about cars. I know how to change a tire without practicing it or something, or learning with somebody, right? So whether you're brand new to our profession of scentsy, or you've been plugging away for it for a while, like myself, and your business isn't where you hoped it would be, make a commitment now. Make commitment to be 100% coachable, and see where you can go, even if you have to take it back a few notches and go back to the basics, go back to our workstation and start from the basics. Maybe watch that first video again. And I do apologize. I'm not very familiar with what there is right now available for the basic videos, but there is some amazing party videos. There is some amazing even podcasts. I know on Facebook, the Scentsy family page, they get on like every other day. There's so many amazing things that they share with us all the time. And it's so fun. If you have the time, go on. I mean, those videos are there for you to watch at a later time as well. Sorry. And then there's also some amazing superstar directors and directors who share information as well to the general Scentsy public, not just with their team pages. So you're probably wondering, why do I have to be coachable? Why is it so important? Well, if you think about it, if you aren't coachable, then you won't talk to enough people. You won't share that business because you kind of have your walls up. Whether you think you do or you don't, you do. The uncoachable also refuse to implement proven business building tools that Scentsy has put out to help them grow in their network. But if you are coachable, keep reading, keep learning, and keep researching. It doesn't end when you learn the basics. Becoming a professional network marketer, turnkey entrepreneur, social marketer, direct sales professional, amazing Scentsy consultant, whatever you want to call yourself, it requires you to be a student of the profession. You're going to be kind of like, I'm a lifelong learner of nursing, lifelong learner of life in general, and a lifelong learner of Scentsy. And I have mentioned that before in my videos, that I don't know everything, including everything about Scentsy and everything about life. There's things that I forget. I have like major ass mom brain, major ass Annie brain, but things sometimes go in one ear and it goes right out the other ear. So if you can relate, that's amazing. But so that's what's great, that Scentsy puts out that little, see, and I don't even know what it's called. What is that called? That book. Now I can't find it. This book. The product training guide. I don't even remember what it's called. See? Bad mom brain. And I feel like my chair is sinking. Why is my chair sinking? I think it's time for a new computer chair. Okay, so I keep this I call it the Scentsy encyclopedia. I keep it with me all the time because I forget things all the time. And it's just so nice to have this in handy. I keep notebooks, especially for work. I like to write down things, or even stuff that I see and hear on a daily basis. I love inspirational quotes and motivational sayings and stuff like that. It's just, I love being a lifelong learner, and try to take that and incorporate it into your life so that you're always learning about Scentsy, about life, about your own professional business too, whether that's nursing, or whether you're a mechanic, or whether you work in a bank or a grocery store, or wherever you work, even if you're a landscaper, all those amazing plants and gardens and stuff, and then share that knowledge with people as well, because I don't know, my plants are just green, so I don't know what plant is what, right? Yeah, so becoming a lifelong learner, it's important to be that, rather than being closed off and not being coachable, because it really does, at the end of the day, affect your business if you are not coachable, because you do have some walls up, let's say. So, and then I just wanted to leave one more point before I move on. It's just because I'm a nurse and graduated university with learning the basics, it doesn't mean that I'm done. For me, I'm coachable. I'm always learning every day. I go into work. I'm always open to learning the newest methods, the newest medications for treatments, the newest procedures, and new instruments. I'm always learning. Things are always changing and evolving with the times. So being coachable is a long, winding, wonderful, exciting ride of constant learning, growth, and evolution. So I hope that you can also be coachable. So make that commitment to yourself, to your business, and to your family to be 100% coachable and open to that learning. So moving on to these amazing 7 points that I learned from Forbes. So Forbes, a huge business magazine, right? That really like kind of stuck out. And it was interesting that I found this article after reading about how to be more coachable or being more open to learning. And so number 1 is change your attitude about feedback. So don't look at it as an attack. When somebody's trying to give you feedback, don't get offended by it or look at it as an insult. And don't take it personally. And I understand sometimes it's hard because sometimes when somebody is trying to give you feedback, it might come across as insult or rude, but just wait till they're done talking. So rather look at the feedback as a chance to make changes that will allow you to live your business and life at a higher level. So oftentimes when I get feedback, whether it's on YouTube or Instagram, I oftentimes just thank the person and I take it with a grain of salt, or don't take it with a grain of salt. I don't know. It's just like, you have to understand where it's sometimes coming from. Oftentimes, if I don't know that person, like a lot of feedback I get is from people that I don't know, right? We don't know each other. I mean, we do establish certain kind of like bonds throughout the years and so forth. And so you do come to respect and appreciate certain feedback from people. So if feedback is kind of through a private message, that's really, really nice. That's very respectable. If feedback is through a public post and it comes across as maybe inappropriate and kind of maybe attention seeking, then you could just be like, okay, thank you, and move on. Do you know what I mean? So always look at who's giving the feedback and go from there. But just change your attitude about feedback. Don't always jump to conclusion and take it personally and take it as an assault. Just, change your attitude. So number 2, ask questions to clarify the feedback. So don't do so. What did I write here? I wrote, don't do so defensively, but to encourage the giver to be more. Oh, okay. Don't get so defensive with the feedback. Ask the person who's giving the feedback to maybe be more specific so you can better evaluate the changes that you hope to make going forward. After all, the general feedback is not nearly as helpful as the feedback that is specific and given with examples. So if somebody gives you just a general feedback, maybe follow up with some questions like asking them, could you be more specific? Or could you give me an example of a time? Do you know what I mean? Like ask them to elaborate on that feedback so that you can narrow down and it'll just help you understand where that feedback is coming from and what you need to do, again, going forward and making some changes in your life, let's say, or in your business. Okay, so number 3, this one's important too, especially when it's more face-to-face feedback. I guess this would be kind of like more, this is more like out in the public, but maintaining good eye contact and good body language when receiving your feedback. This kind of also ties into number 1 with your attitude. You don't want to. So focus first and foremost on the message and consider if there isn't at least a grain of validity or truth you could possibly benefit from and grow from that result. So practicing this discipline and suspending judgment of your feedback. So you don't want to be like, if somebody says, oh, I got something to tell you about your post on Instagram, to be like, oh, really? What was wrong with it? Like don't do that. Don't be closed off. Don't build walls. Be coachable. Be open to learning and accepting feedback. So again, how that kind of ties into number 1 as changing your attitude towards feedback. Don't take it personally. Being open to the feedback and What else? Sorry, to become coachable. So yeah, to become coachable, you must prioritize getting better over being right. So don't, and again, change, that goes into number one. Don't be like, well, there was nothing wrong with my post. I'm right, you're wrong. You got offended by it. I'm sorry you feel that way. You're the only one. Just, do you know what I mean? Like, just kind of be open to what they have to say about it and understand where it may be coming from, and kind of look at your post, or sorry, I just keep talking about, like, say, an Instagram post or whatever, and understand that maybe you did offend that one person. So don't jump to conclusion right away. Let that person finish talking, think about it, kind of digest it, and then follow up with a comment. So number 4 is resist the temptation to make excuses for your action or to try to justify them. Like I was just kind of giving you an example. So focus first and foremost on the message, and consider if there isn't at least a grain of validity or truth you could possibly benefit from, and grow from the result. Practice the discipline of suspending judgment of the feedback and of the giver until you've had a legitimate opportunity to consider it. So, just kind of, if somebody does give you, say, negative feedback, or what you may think is criticism, just take a step back and thank them and be like, okay, thank you. I will look into it, or I will think about it and get back to you. And again, try to not get offended, try to change your attitude, make good eye contact, and be positive, be optimistic, and be coachable. It's important to not put your walls up, let your walls down, and be open to that kind of feedback, because there is going to be negative feedback sometimes. And speaking from experience, putting myself out there on the World Wide Web of YouTube and Instagram and Facebook, you can imagine things that do come back to me, but I'm not going to focus on, for example, the 3 thumbs downs that I get, or the 2 negative comments I'm going to get. I'm going to focus more on the 10 thumbs ups I get and the 10 beautiful comments that I get. But sometimes your brain does go to those negative things, or like, why are people giving me thumbs downs? Why? But then it's funny, because Nathan's like, why are you focusing on the thumbs downs? To focus on the 20 thumbs ups that you got. So it's just, I think it's just human nature also to kind of, to focus on the, like, to be like, why are people not liking me? Like, what is it that they don't like? But to, again, change your attitude, to be coachable, and to not take everything so personally, because you really, in the grand scheme of things, you don't know everybody. You don't know where they're coming from, and they may not be attacking you personally. They may just be not agreeing with your message or with the product that you're sharing. So, where was I? Number 5. Don't just agree with the feedback, change your behavior because of it. So just affirming that feedback is correct or helpful doesn't deem you as coachable unless you will actually change something of it. At the end of the day, acting on feedback and doing so quickly is the true test of coachability. So when somebody gives you feedback, hopefully good feedback, don't just be like, okay, thanks, and walk away. Actually doing something about that feedback is the true test of coachability. So when somebody says, you know, Annie, you read too much off the screen. It would be nice if you were able to talk more naturally to the screen, rather than sitting there and be like, hi, my name is Annie. I'm going to talk to you today about being coachable. Actually walking away and doing something about it. So practicing maybe more public speaking, or practicing talking into a mirror, which I do sometimes, so that I can build more confidence when it comes to talking to all of you amazing friends. So that's pretty much what number 5 means, is not just saying, okay, thanks, bye, actually walking away and doing what that person gave you the feedback to do. So yeah. Number 6, overall, the proper attitude in response to feedback, even feedback that is off base, is to sincerely say thank you. So this doesn't affirm you agree with the feedback or you'll change everything because of it. It could just be misguided or based on wrong information, but it does demonstrate a humble attitude and eagerness to consider uncomfortable situations that may be able to help you grow. So pretty much what that says is like you may not necessarily agree with it or disagree with it, but like it is a nice, hold on. What did I write here? Hold on a minute. I'm just reading my notes because I'm getting that one mixed up with number 7. Feedback, even feedback that is off base, is to sincerely say thank you. Yeah. So sincerely say thank you. Demonstrate your attitude to genuinely want to take that feedback and incorporate it into your business or your personal life and genuinely want to change. So thank you for your feedback. I really will take it into consideration and do my best to change. Or moving forward, I will consider your feedback and how that post may have offended you, and I promise not to do that again. Or you know what I mean? Like, to consider that maybe that one person or those 2 people in the back of your head going forward, and to try not to do it again. So number 7, be proactive and seek out feedback. So don't just sit there waiting for it. Seek it out. So whether you talk to your sponsor or your director or even your I call it your horizontal line, your other teammates, go and ask them, or even asking your own family members, your partners, ask them what they think of your recent post or your recent video. Or even if you ask like your coworkers, hey, did you see my recent post of the take a stand warmer? What did you think about it? Do you think it's a nice post? Do you think I wrote too much about it? Do you think there's too many hashtags? Like, what do you think? So this attitude takes your coachability to another level, and it would definitely help you accelerate your growth as a person, as a scentsy consultant as well. So I put a couple questions here as examples that I've been asked, and I've done the asking as well. Is, what do you suggest I do to improve my monthly sales? Where do you think I have gotten off track? How can I improve customer follow-up? What can I do to have more positive impact on my teammates? Where do you see areas that I could be more consistent? So just a few questions that I found over the years to be really, really important. So when you ask questions like these in earnest, they demonstrate strong humility and coachability, which, when all said and done, are essential allies in your endeavor to improve who you are as well. So what you do, it's like whatever you do, what you do and the results you reap. Yeah. Asking these questions and getting the results and incorporating them into your business or into your personal life will help you grow. Like, it's not a waste of time. Does that make sense? Like, being more coachable and learning more about the business and doing your research and reading more books about, say, network marketing, or just even doing more research online about network marketing, or researching about how to talk to people more and reaching out to your upline. It's not a waste of time. If people don't have time for you, that's their loss. Then you just need to move on to somebody else. And I do apologize if there's people there that don't have time for you. It really is disheartening when teammates are not there for one another, let's say. But you know what? Don't get offended. Just move on. You know, it's easier said than done. And believe me, I've been in your position as well when people have not been there for me. And it really does hurt. And I wish I can be there for everybody as well. So don't get offended. Just move on. Keep moving. Like I've said in the past, always keep moving. Whether you're moving forward, backwards, left or right, or zigzaggy, just keep moving. Just like little Nemo, right? Just keep swimming. So I want you to take away from this little video to make the commitment to yourself, to make 100% commitment that you will become more coachable, and declare it to yourself, or even declare it to me. No, declare it to yourself, because you are accountable to you, not to me, not to your teammates. But yes, Carolyn, just keep moving. Declare it to yourself that you will become a lifelong learner of scentsy, a lifelong learner of life in general. Just like me, I'm always learning. Even if it's something once a day, hop on Workstation or hop on Scentsy, or, I mean, everybody has their phones on them all the time. I know sometimes it's hard to find downtime, but just Google something once a day about network marketing, or about how to grow as an entrepreneur, and see what comes up. You would be surprised. And click on the first thing that comes up and just read it. Even if the first thing that comes up is about, I don't know, some internet mogul or something, you can honestly take, there's always, like the book that I just read, The Hard Thing About Hard Things, he was more in the, oh my gosh, now I can't even think about it. He was more into the technology industry, but there was still tidbits of stuff. Timbits, that's a donut here in Canada. Anyways, there were still things that I was able to take away from his book and apply it to my own life. So things, you can read anybody's story and take stuff away from what they've learned in their life and apply it to your life. And you just need to be coachable. You need to be open to learning and be open to the messages that you're reading about. So yes, Carolyn. Oh, wow, you're from Virginia. That's awesome. You're not too far away from me, actually. All right, so that's it for now. So make yourself coachable, and I hope to see you again here in 2 weeks. I'm going to give you a date while you're all here. Oh, no, that's the wrong calendar. So 2 weeks from now is August 30th. Oh my gosh, it's almost September 1st, and I'm super, super excited for all the fall harvest collection to come out, and I'm sure you are as well. I can't wait for the new fall waxes and the soaps. Those are my favorite scents. Pumpkin, 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 pumpkin. So again, thank you so, so much for listening and all your love and support. I really, really appreciate it. You yourselves are helping me be a better coach as well. So I thank you, and I want to give you all a virtual hug. Lots of kisses. Please like and share my videos as much as you can. It really does mean a lot to me to help get my word out to your team members as well. And that helps you become a better leader as well. Sometimes if you can't say the words, share the words of other people, just like I'm doing. The words that I've learned from other people, I'm sharing with you. This didn't all come from my head. So these are words from other people that I've learned over the years that I've compiled, and now I'm sharing with you as well. So don't forget to hit like and subscribe to stay up to date with all the latest, greatest, amazing Scentsy news with me, Annie. And yeah, if you're not a Scentsy consultant and if you're interested in joining my team, I will leave you a link down below once this video is uploaded. But in the meantime, you can also find me on Instagram, where I'll be sharing some fun pictures, some more personal information, and yeah, some fun flyers, so forth. And oh, I'm also on IGTV. Crazy. Yeah, I'm trying to get myself all out there. But anyways, I hope everyone has a lovely Sunday. Please, please, please be safe, be kind, and always be amazing. Bye for now. Thank you.